Okay, hello everyone. Myself Dalveer Singh and welcome back to my new video. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about think in English and speak confidently. That is our topic today, and I'm gonna talk about this topic. So, do you struggle to think in English? That is the question. Because there was a time when I was struggling to speak English, and that is very common problem. You must be facing the similar problem when this thing because at one time I was doing the same thing. It was 6 to 7 years ago when I first started to learn the English language. That time I was translating in my head. First, I was thinking about something in my head in my own native language. Then I was translating it into the English. And then I was talking to the other person. And that is not the natural way. Naturally, we think and then we speak. Because I already had the extra step in it, the process. So that's why it really hurt my English speaking and it really slowed down my speed of communicating. It's really slowed down the speed. I was not able to give the answer automatically because I really had to take long pauses. So how you can start thinking in English? That is the question. And that the same question I asked to myself 2 years ago. How could I think in English? Right? So there are two things you can do. First, you have to give yourself more and more exposure to the English. You should have to fully immerse in English. The idea immersion, what is the meaning of immersion? The word immersion means something is surrounded by something. Suppose you are in a pool of water. There's a water all around you. There's a water beneath you, water above you, and all the sides you have been fully immersed in water. Same thing you need to apply to your English. You should have to fully immerse in English. Whenever you are doing anything in your day-to-day life, you must be doing it in English. Suppose you are a movie lover and you watch movie regularly. Instead of watching that movie in your own native language, you can start watching that movie in English. You can listen to English songs, all song, easy song. You can read if you are very fond of reading the news, then instead of reading the news in your own native language, you can start reading the news in English. That's how you create the environment. Because we are living in a non-English speaking country. I am living in a non-English speaking country in India, and there isn't any other person around me to whom who would talk in English. Meaning I have not able to get any kind of input from my society at all because there is not any other person, not even in my family, not in my town, or not in my relation. I don't have any other person around me who can give me input. So I should have to create the environment. So whatever I was doing in my day-to-day life, I was started to do in English, right? At first, it really became difficult for you to understand the English if you are really starting from zero level. So you can start with easy stories, children stories, because children usually understand slow English and easy English. So that kind of material contains very easy English and slow English. So you can easily able to understand it. And then if you are still not able to understand the language, still you can use the subtitles, and whenever you will get comfortable in that language, in that speed, then you can remove the subtitles from the video. You can start watching video without the subtitles. Try to fully immerse in English. You can also do some listen and answer mini story. That is very natural way to learn the language. So first you need to understand what is listen and answer mini story. In listen and answer mini story, somebody, a teacher or somebody ask you a story. I did not say tell you a story. I said ask you a story because he is going to ask you a story, and in between the story, he is going to ask you some questions related to the story. You are going to get two things from this. First, you are going to get listening because that person is speaking in English, so you are getting a lot of listening, and he is also asking you the question. So you are getting speaking as well. With this at the same time, you are able to get both of the thing at the same time, right? So I'm gonna give you one examples of mini story, listen and answer mini story, so that you can easily able to understand it. So I'm just telling you a story. Once upon a time, there was a man, and his name was Jim. He was 28 years old. How old was Jim? You need to give the answer. Jim was 28 years old. He was very fat. Who was very fat? You need to give the answer. Jim was very fat. So that is the listen and answer mini story. And I already talked about the advantage of listen and answer mini story. Here I'm also going to talk about active vocabulary and passive vocabulary. What is the meaning by active vocabulary and passive vocabulary? Active vocabularies are the vocabularies which you are using at the time of communication. If you are talking to anybody, the kind of word or kind of vocabulary you are using that time is the active one. But on the other side, passive vocabularies are the vocabularies which you know. Suppose you are reading anything and you find a word and you know the meaning of that word, but you are not using that word whenever you are talking. Suppose right now I'm talking to the camera, and the word and the vocabulary which I am using right now is my active vocabularies, right? And passive vocabularies are the vocabularies which I am not able to use yet. I know the meaning of that word, but still I am not able to use it. So you should have to convert passive vocabularies into active vocabularies. And you really need to look for high frequency vocabularies. High frequency vocabularies is the high frequency vocabularies are the vocabulary words which we use which which we commonly use, which we use usually whenever we talk to other person, and the vocabulary, simple vocabulary in a day-to-day life vocabulary, and you have to repeat that vocabulary again and again. Suppose you just knew some word and you need to practice that words again and again so that it really get into your system and you remember that word, because repetition is very important. Repeating the thing is very important, because you are not going to understand anything at first. You should have to repeat it again and again. That's how you learn anything. That's how you're going to learn the English. So you should have to listen a story for 3 times, maybe 4 times, to understand it, just simply to understand it. Because without the hard work, there is just hard worker. Some people are hard worker and some people are smart worker. But there is a time in our life where we just really need to do hard work as well. You need to do smart work, and with the smart work you can also do some hard work, because without the hard work you are not going to achieve anything. So that is the end of this video, and I hope that you like this video. If you like this video, then please subscribe this channel. Thank you very much for watching it. Take care and